green light. Go, go, go.
Good evening, SIMseniors viewership. That it is. Welcome to season 4. We're starting season 4. It's all kicking off. It's come around so quickly, hasn't it? So, how are you all doing? Evening, Ant. Evening, Mr. Flack. Evening to those in chat. I won't be typing in chat because I need to have. It's a Streamlabs thing to do with the account that we use. I can't really log in on Streamlabs and type on it. It's a bit of a faff, but I will be checking chat, keeping an eye on things as best I can, and as per usual, try and keep up with stuff and try and miss all of the overtakes because that's what I do. Evening, Laura. Good to see you back. Supporting the one and only Mumbles. And the group, I'm sure, as well, and the group. So what have we got? We've got a load of... let's put it on the big screen, shall we? Let's put it on the big screen. I'm on auto cam at the moment, just letting the game follow whatever's happening. Everyone's on their outlap for quali. Let me know in chat if the sound balance is dodgy one way or the other. Yeah, it is good to be back. I was talking to Colin, as you know, me and Colin are in the group. He's saying, what's your involvement? You're going to be driving, you're going to be streaming, you're going to be sleeping, what are you doing? I said, I'm not quite sure. It's almost come around a bit too quick for me because I've got 2 kids and summer holidays just finished here in the UK. So, and they're at an age now where they require permanent dad taxi services. So there's a lot of driving around, taking kids to clubs here, there and everywhere. So I'll be honest, I'm doing tonight's one, see how I get on with it. It's a long race now. This is an hour race with a stop, mandatory stop. If you put in the quali that we've got, the warm-up laps and everything, that's an hour and a half stream at least, which is a lot of streaming to do. And due to various health reasons, I never used to have a problem talking. But I do run out of voice quite regularly now, especially when I'm a bit overtired. And no, it's not just old age and misery, it's genuine health reasons. So I'm just testing the waters tonight, see how I go. Might go quiet for a bit. I might disappear in a sort of be right back kind of mode for 5 minutes here and there just to see how we go, or I might be here for the whole race. I'll just see how I go. But whatever happens, I'll leave the stream running. I'll put it on auto cam if I'm not here to actually manage the cameras myself. And who knows, if I do it in the future, I'll coax a couple of or 1 or 2 people from group 2 to come in and join the commentary with me. That'll be quite good to do. So let me just see if I can change that view. Hold on a sec. Yeah, let's just put it on lap times rather than gap, and I'll see if we can put it onto, that's a better view for us for quali, so we can see everyone on track. We can't see everyone on track, we can only see 23 cars. We got 30 guys on track tonight, 30 drivers on track this season in Group 1. We got a nice balance. So yeah, let's go Group 1, let's see what we can do. And a great track in great conditions. And you know what, looking at the field, I was expecting, I don't know if anybody else is expecting this, a bit of a McLaren overload, but maybe some of the guys in this group A hate meta, or B are still absolutely loving the Fiat, because look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's more than 10, what do you do, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think there's 12 Fiats out of 30 cars. So yeah, Laura, you know what, my wife just ran to the shop, she said, do you want any snacks? The race, and I just couldn't think. My brain's gone to sleep, and I didn't order any Pringles or anything. Doritos, anything, pinballs, Malm are good. Although that's a dangerous snack, isn't it? If you snack on Malm for an hour and a half, you probably have some kind of sugar fit. I would have thought it's a possibility. Yeah, that's a strange thought. Anyway, on that positive note, so yeah, I should probably eat fruit. I should go and get some fruit for my snacks. Very dull. very dull indeed. But yeah, I'll definitely be snacking a bit, I'm sure, during this race. I'll probably pop down and see what treats have just been bought for the kids and just steal some of theirs. That's always good. And the kids love me doing that. They don't come and beat me up for that at all. So yeah, it's a busy night now, Mondays for me, but I try and do races where I can, try and get on and do the stream. Maybe a couple of Tuesdays here and there as well, but certainly not sure I'll be doing every single week. We will see how we go. So who's putting in the early pace? I know the camera's jumping around because it's still on auto cam and I can't be bothered to change it up just yet. Anyway, you can see all the names on the screen. We've still got Pro and Pro-Am. So we got like the platinum and silver colours on the screen. So the white, platinum, white, are the pros, and then the Pro-Ams are the silvers on the screen. So if I refer to them as silver or Pro-Am, you'll know what I'm talking about. Or platinum, which I rarely use because it's, you know, far too hard a word to remember. Yeah, Roger, do you know what's funny? McLaren can be faster, but Fiat's easier to drive fast. Completely the other way around for me. I find the Fiat is as dodgy at the back end for me as the Lambo. And I find the McLaren literally will only spin if I absolutely intend to spin it. So it's a completely different car. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it feels better for me. Maybe it's just because it's a new thing. If I was driving tonight, I'd be in the McLaren. Not because I'm super fast and I want that extra 0.3 a lap, but just because I can get in it and drive it and not feel like I'm going to die on every corner. Whereas the Lambo, like last night, Spa, I love Spa, but I literally felt like I was going to die at most corners for the first 5 laps. So yeah, it's a funny one. So what we do have is a heck of a lot of Ferraris, and I think the reason most people are going to Ferrari, from what I've heard, the McLaren can be really fast at some tracks. The Fiat is just the BMW of old, really, in that it is very good pretty much everywhere. So yeah, it will have an occasional disadvantage, but that will only make it maybe the second or third best car, I think, from what I've heard. Dan Moffat not hanging around, by the way. Let's just have a little bit of a look at the times. He's put in a 41.3. I was going to say quali times, I'd say we're looking mid to maybe low 41s for some of the guys in this group. Some seriously fast people here. So let's just talk about a few of those whilst we're looking at this, and then we'll actually follow some specific drivers when we get to the bitey end of quali as well. So at the moment, yeah, looking at the top, we got familiar names: Dan Moffat, Rich Gasson, Richard Cook. Rich Gasson pinched the season, didn't he, last season in the pro category? So yeah, and he's back with us obviously this season as well. And there are a lot of familiar names. It's probably easier just to call out the changes, some of the changes that we see there as well. So let's talk about some new entrants to Group 1 season. I'm not sure if Mark Christopher was racing in Group 1 last season, or he's doing loads of other races, but he's here in Pro-Am category, car number 19 in the Fiat. Should call it Ferrari, give it its proper respect. We have Steve Howells, Group 2 Sandbagger. Is Sandbagger Group 2 no more? He is Group 1. Steve Group 1 Howells is here tonight. So he is up in Group 1. He's up in Group 1, and his times reflect the times he can run, that he is challenging for the pro category. So Collins decided that Steve's times in various sessions justify pro category, so Steve's got quicker and quicker and is now right up there in the sort of top 25% of our drivers, so he's definitely justified his place. He's making it here Monday night. He's gracing us with his presence. He's here in Group 1. Simon Aid is back. Welcome back, Simon. Simon is, let's turn auto cam off and just focus on a couple of people. See what we get. So let's have a look at Mr. Aid. Simon is here. He's rocking the Merc. Where are my cameras? Where are my cameras? Can't see my cameras. Now I can see my cameras. So there's Simon. He's back with us, foot all healed after some overly enthusiastic braking manoeuvres on his new pedals last season. Meant that he actually damaged the ligaments in his foot. Clever boy. I guess it can happen to anyone, and he was loving those pedals. So I think he's back, maybe with a slightly lower brake force and the AMG. A nice NVIDIA livery there as well. He's clearly the 4090 fanboy, knows no end to the love of NVIDIA and his 4090. So there he is rocking it on track in the AMG on his 4090. Fantastic. Who else have we got here in the season in pro and racing for the first time in a while? Back with us is AJ Jones. Good to see him back on track, and good to see he's come back and he's still driving the Audi. I think a lot of people. All right, Chris, good to see you in chat. Oh, sorry, I haven't said hello to people as well. Sorry, there's Peter as well. Hi, Peter. Good to see you. And Chris, yeah, good to see you here. AJ turned up in the Audi. I think familiarity more than anything else, because he maybe hasn't had time to acclimatise to other cars. But the Audi seems to be going well at some of the high-speed corner tracks again now, doesn't it? So, you know, I know a couple of guys were considering it. And Paul Sims just noticed here, ladies and gentlemen, in the Audi. Beautiful car, the Audi. Beautiful noise from that engine. It was sad when it got slightly wrecked on the suspension front in 1.9, but it seems to be coming back from the dead a little bit at the moment. And nice to see we have two in this group running it. So Jones and Sims running the Audi. How are we doing on the quali? Dan Moffat's still up there with a 41.3, very close behind Rich Gasson. Then a bit of a gap, nearly half a second to Marsh, Steve Marsh. Then we got Cook, Starkey, Bourne, Saunders, John Saunders, Thomas in 8th. Mumbles there running well in a Pro-Ams. He's second in Pro-Am at the moment in the quali. Paul Sims in the Audi in 9th, probably still getting to grips with that car. Brown, Homer, Holmes, Rios, Aid, like I said, is back. Ponoff, Steve Howell's up from Group 2 into Pro in Group 1. Everyone's going out now for their final run of quali. Let's have a look at some other liveries we might not have seen. Steve Howell's, I believe, has got a new livery. I don't think it's done by anyone in particular. I think it's one he found, but I could be wrong. It might be done by Nikos. Nikos is in chat. I'm sure he'd correct me. So yeah, Steve running the Ferrari as he did last season. So OP Steve in the OP car. Lol. Oh no, where is he? I've got merch there, not Steve. No, he has. Look at that. Look at that livery. Blimey. Looks nice, doesn't it? Anyway, let's get on track. Dan Moffat's out there currently in pole in the McLaren. Luminous yellow and purple combo. I don't know how I feel about that. It makes me, you know, when you could go to the sweet shop when you were a kid and you could have like mint humbugs. What were the ones that were purple and yellow? There were some that were purple and yellow, and they're nowhere near as toxic as the stuff you get these days, but it reminds me of that, one of those sweets. Looking a bit further down as well, we got, who else have we got out in new cars? Gary Barham's running the Fiat this season as well. Colin McNair is still getting used to the Iron Brew Macca. Look at that livery though, what a stunner. It's fantastic. I mean, the man is looking for a sponsorship and a free lifetime supply, isn't he? It's the way it's going, I think. We got Ricky Scotty. Is here this season. I think he's new to Group 1 this season, but I could be wrong, apologies for his last season. Then we got Condren and we got Jordan McNair at the back as well. I think that's his standard game livery, Macca, so he's probably only just starting to spend some time in that car, or he's just not a big fan of doing liveries. Is that just behind him on track? Can't see who that is. Somebody. Anyway, let's get to the front end of this and see what's actually going on, because is anyone running super duper times? Chris Bourne, also in the McLaren, is running a good time at the moment. Apologies, I'm a bit slower. Did he get there? He's at P6 at the moment. Craig Starkey is leading out Pro-Am class at the moment in the familiar Adidad livery Ferrari. Yeah, Roger, mate, if I'm not streaming, you'll get off lightly. Hot pink and Belize blue. Is that a colour, Belize blue? What statement are you trying to make? Hot pink and Belize blue. Of course, in the Victorian era, as we all know, pink was the manliest of colours. But nobody seems to notice that, you know. I think we're more comfortable with it again now. Anyway, only 30 seconds left to quali, and I haven't really focused much on quali, have I? But Rich Gasson's put in a bit of a flyer, and he's put it on pole. See, at least I caught that. That wasn't so bad. Rich Gasson's gone on pole with a 141.177, pretty much on the... Nobody else is on a big flyer here. The only person I can see, actually Saunders in pro category in 8th. It's nearly half a second up already on his best lap. His best lap being a 1:42 flat. So if you can put it as a 1:44.4 or 5, a 1:41.4 or 5, puts him on the second row. So maybe we'll just stick with that. I'll mention any others. Rich Cook has hit third spot on the grid, 1:41.7. Dave Marsh fourth. Paul Sims has got the Audi up to fifth, and Craig Holmes. Sorry, Craig, no, completely ignoring you in the Audi as well. You put the Audi on P6, so P5 and 6 are Audis. Glory. Audi's back to the glory days. And like I said, we got then Chris Bourne behind, Craig Starkey leading the Pro-Ams, and Saunders at the moment in P9. He's lost a little bit because I'm following him and talking about him properly, and I will curse anybody I follow. See what he can do on the last couple of corners. He's gained there, he's gained time, gained a 10th on that last corner, so this would be a good lap for him, and it's potentially going to put him up to P5 or 6, and maybe he's going to split the Audis, which is sad for me because he's third. He's put it in P3, 1:41.662. Brilliant lap there from Saunders, fantastic effort. There's a few people still out there, but they're not. Let me have a look at this. He can't be still running a time, can he? He's showing on my timing ball, but I'm not. Yeah, he was still running. What's happened there? I've got my timing board's gone absolutely hilariously wrong, but I'm sure it'll come back in a minute, and that'll be fine. It's a McLaren cyan shade, is it now, Roger? That's good. So you McLaren cyan shade on which car? On a Ferrari. It's on a Ferrari. Right, let me just sort this out because I think I'm going to need to restart the session in a minute, aren't I? So anyway, let's have a little bit of a... What's on my intermission screen? I bet there's nothing there, is there? Oh, it's me! Oh, gee, nobody wants to see that. That's just frightening. No, I haven't quite got that. So I'll just go back to there. Usually I would stick the current positions in the championship at the top of the screen here for us all to peruse. But nothing to see there. Nothing to see here. Everyone currently, unless they've upset Colin, is on 0. If they've upset Colin, they'll be on minus something already at the start of this season. But yeah, currently everyone on 0. I've got a fan tanking away in the background behind me, a small fan, so apologies for any noise for there. Yeah, Hal's might sandbag until he goes back down to amateur, Pro-Am category, yeah. I think it could happen. That is, you're right there actually, Peter, really well pointed out. The times that we've seen there for the top 20, just over a second. So top 16, top 13, less than a second off pole. And then everyone else very close behind as well. It's a seriously competitive group. And to be honest, it's one of the reasons I'm commentating Nights Racing. Unless I can put the time in and get really back under the car again, I'm just going to be in people's way, honestly. So it's amazing to see those times, see people, everyone pretty much touching on the 42s. Right, so how's it working this season? It's not too tricky to understand, but I will probably get it wrong when I explain it. So let me try. Yeah, so this, look at that, it's fantastic seeing that many guys on the grid. 30 cars we've got in Group 1 racing tonight. It's absolutely brilliant. So congratulations, thank you to all the drivers that have turned up. It's great to see everybody here. Great to see all the liveries. Great to see the Audi back in the glory. Look at this. Wait, let's get a better view. If I can, come on, I want a close up. I want a close up of my Audis. Not going to get it, am I? Let's go in front. I can't quite see him so well, but let's go back to blank. I've just got a little settings change to make. Apologies, give me a second. HUD. I'm in my VR mode again, so it's annoying you can't set these differently for different viewing modes, but hey, that should be better. Click on that, basic, and yeah, that's better. So you can see full width of the track now. That's good. So yeah, everyone lined up, looking forward to fantastic race. As you see at the top of the screen, 'tis a 1 hour race, ladies and gentlemen, a 1 hour race. Let me back onto Streamlabs. Yeah, good luck to Group 1. Hope it's some good action. Hope it's some good, clean fun. To be fair, honestly, I look at the drivers right across this group. I'm really optimistic for the quality of racing, touch wood, this season. You know, we've had some good and some bad, fast action over the seasons, but I'm looking forward to this one. I think this could be good. I know, looking at the top 6, there's some good, clean races. Not saying that people from P7 onwards are filthy, disgusting, dirty racers, but you know, they might be. I mean, Thomas is there, and you know, Craig as well. He's a dirty driver. Lol. So yeah, we have a 1 hour race with a mandatory stop. I think there is a window set for that mandatory stop as well, but I could be wrong. I can't remember the last time I read the rules. Colin set it up in such a way that everyone has to do a stop. If you do a stop and you only put in 1 litre of fuel, it's still 25 seconds. So it's encouraging everyone to fuel as they would do in real life. So for a 1 hour race, you're going to be fueling, you know, roughly 50 litres first half, 50 litres second half, that sort of amount of fuel. If you take tyres with your pit stop, it's only an extra 5 seconds. So this also encourages and discourages people that don't take tyres, run nearly a full hour and then just do a splash and dash at the end, which, you know, if there were a lot of 1 hour short endurance races in real life, maybe they would do that, but it's certainly a bit of an ACC thing, isn't it? So what we're hoping here is it encourages people to really think about where they stop in a race, get tyres if they want tyres, but crucially how much fuel they carry at the start. So you could do a 15-minute sprint at the start, refuel, go really heavy on fuel and hope those tyres last you to the end, which you can make them do if you're a good endurance driver as well. You can easily get 45 minutes out of a set of tyres, provided you're not doing Tokyo drift around the entire track. Or if you have a bad start, and I think this is what makes it really interesting. If you have a bad start and you get nerfed, you get 15 seconds damage, or you just end up at the back of the field and you really don't want to just be carving your way through the field for 20 minutes, so you have a really bad effort at the front of the race. As soon as that pit window opens, whenever we set that to, apologies, I can't quite remember, you can get in early. You can get fuel, tyres and repairs if you want them. And because everyone else is still doing a mandatory stop as well, you might make that work. You might be able to drag yourself back up to even podium positions from that. So front runner has bad start, picks up a little bit of damage, maybe 10 seconds, pits a little bit early, undercuts effectively, gets the damage repaired, loses a few seconds, but crucially everyone else still has to pit and they may be able to make up that crucial time. It's not unheard of with clean track in front of you as a good driver at IMOLA to be making a second, maybe 2 seconds a lap at race trim with a clean track in front of you. So you've really got to think a bit more strategically. You know, I might be having a good battle here with the people in front, but where do I actually want to be? I'm going to focus on P4, I'm going to go helicam, and good luck with trying to track everything on here. I will zoom back if there is absolute necessity to do so, but apart from that I will try and just keep it so that we can see what's going on track. Okay, I'll sort out the timing boards in a second on the left. Here we go. So first race, season 4, and about to get started. It's a full stall and then I saw a line. And we're off. Looks like Moffat got a fantastic start in Macca there. Fiat's still not quite as good off the line as it should be. The Audi's was a 3 wide in P4 and 5 at the moment. We're going to be okay. So it's gone straight. That was, I'm not too used to my new liveries yet. That's good, he's avoided coming back on as a dangerous rejoin. So in P1 at the moment we got Dan Moffat. It was Gasson who ran too deep at T1. And exactly the point I was making, he's now sort of mid-table. Well, no, where is he? Everyone else looking fairly... Oh, that looked like a bit of a dodgy incident back there. We're looking just coming round the hairpin. It's okay. Stark is leading the Pro-Am category at the moment. Ed Brown in second the Pro-Am. Chris Ball made a place there as well. Or is it P6? He's running in tight there. He's a little bit of a kiss. Unintentional, I'm sure, but definitely gave that Porsche a little bit of a donk. Yeah, it's running a little bit wide there. That was Marsh actually in the Porsche that got hard done by then. It looks like he's really struggling to hold it together after that. It's giving him a, oh, it's a big curb there for, well, looking at, do you know what, it was yeah, it was Marsh. Just get back to the front, line astern behind there, it's looking pretty tight. Let's just get back to the front of the field. Moffat leading, Cook, Saunders, Sims, Holmes and Bourne P1 to 6. Then we've got Pro-Am leader Craig Starkey in P7. Gaps are all sensible at the moment. We've had a place take, but then it's all McNair in the Macca, but he's just been taken by Christopher in the Fiat there in the Fezzer. So Christopher is up a place to P23. Also Derek Neve got up there as well. He's a place up in P22. So the Pro-Ams there's a big cluster of them from P21 to 28. There's a lot going on. Colin McNair's just taken a place. Let's just go back 15 seconds, see if we can see that move happening. So yeah, it's Colin on. So I'm gonna, forgive me, I don't know everybody's colours yet. So car number 12 says Thomas. Thomas is there in a Datsun. God, he's a brave man. He's obviously up for some fun. There's a couple of Nissans there in P11 and 12. So it looks like Thomas took him back then after the overtake. Yeah, it's about right. It's a good battle here between Thomas and Colin. Just follow this for a few seconds. A lot going on lower down the field. In the lower half of the Pro-Am category, Ricky Scotty's gone up to P23, so I think somebody had an incident there and got pushed a bit further back. I think it might have been Christopher, because he was making his way through. Sorry for my silence, I'm just keeping an eye on a few different, spinning a few plates at the moment, apologies. Keep track of this. Just for now, it's pretty much the closest battle on the track between these two, although Thomas does seem to be ahead. Ah, Saunders, oh, we just had an incident here. And Saunders came out through, let's just see what happened there. So this is what, Saunders, Holmes. Oh, we had it coming together, just did not see each other. The Audi came across him. The other Audi going wide around the outside. Both drivers carrying on, but they must have picked up a bit of damage there. Saunders, I think, was kind of making the most of that, although we've had another change of position. Craig Starkey looks like he's just made a move to get him from P6. Yeah, he's gone up the inside of Sims to take P5. So Paul Sims not 100% on top of the Audi. Oh, it looks pretty slidey. Paul Sims in the Audi. Yeah, at the moment, yeah, not an absolute flyer, and Starkey a couple of tenths a lap quicker than him at the moment. Just got to have a quick look at my Discord. Give me a second, folks. It's all fine. Sorry. Right, back with you. Back in the room. Okay. Sims under a bit more pressure now. He looks like he looks like he's qualified really well in the Audi, but he is not enjoying the first few laps of this race in it. Just to let you know, at the front of the field, Dan Moffat's got a 2-second lead over Rich Cook, who's got a 2-second lead equally over Craig Holmes. So not a lot to see there at the moment. Chris Ball though closing down Craig Holmes, and I'll cut to that as we get a little bit closer. But yeah, seems like he's got a bit of front end damage, or I'm imagining that. Can't quite. Yes, he has. So he's had a knock there that I've missed, which is clearly what's meant that he's probably not quite got the rotation he wants, especially through the high speed corners. So yeah, that looks troublesome. He's still keeping up with Craig though, to be fair. So Paul very good driver pool. So if he can get his head around the change in the characteristics of that car with the front end damage, there's no reason he can't keep with the pace, and no reason he would need to pit early to repair that if it's not too much damage. I can't see how much damage they've got, which is a shame. It'd be nice to be able to see that. So yeah, long race ahead of us. We're only 6 minutes into it and there's already quite a bit of action, but things do seem to be settling down a little. Just going to nip forward to Craig Holmes, because Chris Bourne is slowly but surely reeling him in. Craig's pace and his racecraft seem to be really solid, really consistent, and getting into P3. Obviously in the Pro category, I can't recall, I might be wrong, I think he might have been in Pro-Am last season. I don't know what happened to Rios, but he's only going backwards, isn't he? Oh, he's pitted. I missed what happened to him, apologies, so I couldn't tell you. Also, Cameron's pitted, but it could be if he's had a bad time, he's just pitted early. Do we have pit window open? We may have pit window open, I didn't see the announcement. No, I can't. I think we set it a bit tighter so it's actually nearer the middle of the race, so that was an essential stop for Rios rather than a choice by the look of it. And he's coming out right in the thick of it, so let's see if he doesn't hold up anybody as he gets warmed up. Oh, Stark is not happy. Oh no! Rios taking the line into the corner as he's potentially entitled to do, and Starkey just straight into the back of him. Probably thought Rios was going to let him through there, and he didn't see him coming, and nowhere for Craig to go. I think he hit his marks okay, but it was just not for him. So they collided. Craig was leading class. Craig was P1 in class, and will really, I imagine, not be in any way amused by that. Again, Adam really coming out of the pits and rejoining, had every right to take the corner. I just think Craig probably hoped or assumed Rios was going to get out of his way, and it didn't happen. Rios braked where he wanted to brake, and he turned into the corner and left Craig absolutely nowhere to go. So yeah, disaster there for Craig. That is miserable for him. That is terribly bad luck, and it is just you know, there's nothing malicious there. It's just a really shitty racing incident, isn't it? It's just really unfortunate for him. So yeah, shame for Craig. That massive shame for Craig. I mean, that's an understatement. He was having a great start to the season. I imagine now he's got a shed load of front end damage, because that was quite the pun. So I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't pit this lap. There's a few changes up ahead. Let's just see what's going on. Mert's just taken Simon Aid, and no, Gary Barham, I think, dropped. Let's just go back 30 seconds and see what happened here. So Alexa, stop. Jesus, damn device things kicking off. Didn't even say anything. Oh, I see. Gary had a shunt there. So that's what pushed him back a number of places, and everybody 4 or 5 places behind jumped up from there. And rightly, Gary, good bloke, lets a Ferrari back through. Honest mistake there. He just didn't brake based on the guy in front. They just went straight at the back of him. So hopefully there's a recovery drive in it for both of them as we continue through the race. So what have we got? Let's do a bit of a recap. Oh God, we're only 10 minutes in. I'm just not going to have the stamina for this. I don't need to talk so much, do I? Yeah, Cameron hit Rios. Ah, gee, that is a shame. He was in a bit of no man's land, wasn't he, tonight? Rios, he had a bad, looks like he had a bad quali. So yeah, unfortunate for him as well. So what have we got that's surprising? Let's talk about it this way. We'll leave it on this battle for now between Holmes and Bourne. Yeah, so Dan Moffat's 4 seconds ahead, Rich Cook P2, and a 2 second gap to Craig Holmes. You see it, right? You can see it there on track. So it's not massive gaps, but Dan Moffat's looking quite comfortable here. He's putting in 42, put in a 42.4 last lap. He's done a 41.9 in the race, so he's got pace to spare, you'd think, in the McLaren, which does seem to go pretty well here. Blue flags there for Cameron, who obviously had that incident with Rios. Let's hope, I think probably after these 2 corners he's going to politely move out of the way of Craig Holmes, not compromise his battle with Chris Bourne. Let's just see how that pans out. Maybe not here actually, maybe at the hairpin, we'll have to see. So what have we got that's out of the, let's see what's out of the ordinary. Well, I expect not out of the ordinary, but notable is Thomas Lenatis Mumbles now is leading the Pro-Am category, courtesy of Craig's terribly bad luck. Yeah, there we go, and Scott's got out of the way with those guys, so he's not interfering with that battle. Hopefully he's seen Chris Ball behind him as well. And tucking behind Chris Ball, yeah, good. So yeah, Chris able to break a lot later there at the top of the hill than Craig. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris has got a bit of pace to spare as well. He's looking very fast around here tonight. So yeah, right up with Craig. I'll leave it on there for now. Paul Sims in 5th. So yeah, obviously courtesy of Craig going off as well, was giving Paul a bit of a gap. He's 4.5 seconds behind Paul, which you can see he was just coming up to that corner as they got through it. And then we've got Serrano in 6th in the BMW, Dave Marsh in the Porsche in 7th, Trevor Waite in 8th in the Ferrari, and Saunders 9th in the Ferrari. Then we've got Pro-Am category. I'm not going to jump away from this, but I'll just let's stay on this for a second and see how this transpires. It's looking close. It's a good slip, but the Audi is super fast in a straight line, as we know. I think the Audi's running a lot lower wing. That Macca made nothing up on that straight, did it? Absolutely nothing. So he's going to have to do it, I think, under braking for one of the lower speed corners. Let's see if he feels the same way. It certainly looks, you know, like it's handling really well. I'll say that. Touch wood again. Let's not put the commentator's curse on it. Able to take tighter lines through those corners in the Audi at the moment. And there you go, braking so late into the tight corners. He's definitely got Craig's number for the low speed corners. And the Macca does seem to be really planted braking for low speed corners. Top of the hill again. Chris can just brake where he likes. Braking, respecting Craig's braking distances, of course, but he just doesn't seem to be braking anywhere near as early as Craig. There is a change of position. P6, Dave Marsh has just got ahead of Serrano, but I'm going to jump back to this battle because it's a good one. And let's make it exciting. Let's go. Bonnet cam! It's bonnet cam! Literally have to raise my voice to be heard over the McLaren engine. It's the angriest engine, isn't it? I don't know, maybe the old Ferrari. Noisier, but that sounds proper angry. And I've got used to it, I like it now. I was used to the lovely sweet tones of the V10 Audi. And then changing to this is a bit of a shock. But again, it's nowhere on the straight, so the Audi is set up for the drag strip at this track, isn't it? But see, it's at this point, if once the window's open, Chris is getting a bit stuck here, he might well do to go for the undercut on Craig. So we can bring that strategy into play now in our races because we're doing this mandatory stop. Makes it a lot more. It gives you a lot more options. I'm not saying it makes it more interesting. It gives you more options. Sprint races, there's one way to do them. If you have an incident, chances of you making it back, unless you're an absolute god, are limited. So yeah, still looking really pacey. Jordan McNair's got ahead of Howells because Howells has pitted. I don't know if he's pitted again. Apologies, I'm not keeping track of when pit window is open. If he's just decided to pit early, it does look like he's having fuel and tyres because he's been a while there. Let's get back to the action, shall we? So yeah, at the moment Steve Howell's dropping right through the field, but courtesy of being in the pit. What are the exceptions I was going to talk about whilst we're here and listening to a very loud, maybe I'll go back to TV1 so it's not quite so loud. So the outliers we're talking about here, Lee Smart's down in 27th. I don't know why, I don't know what happened. I don't think he qualified super high, but at the same time I'd usually expect to see Lee a bit higher up the field, so he's not having the race of his life. either. I think that was Halsey just came out after his stop, so I think that's his optional stop done, and we'll see how he makes his way back through. Again, apologies, I'm not keeping track of all the incidents, so it could well be that was an optional stop. It wasn't, it was essential for damage or something, I don't know. Yeah, so what are we looking at here? The Maccas are going really well, P's 1, 2 and 4, and then Colin in 10th is going pretty well too. This is a close battle. I think I'll stick with it, so just talk through it. P8 is top of Pro-Am category at the moment. Happens to be Thomas. So Mumbles Lenatas is in 8th place at the moment, going great guns with a just ahead of Ed Brown. I'd say a gap to, but it's not, it's only 0.6. Let's just see if yeah, I thought he might have a little go here, or at least show his nose, because he's so good under brakes. Just giving Holmes something to look at there. I'll just follow it to the end of the lap and then we'll jump back. McNair has just taken Brown. I think so. Brown in the Datsun, staying with him, but McNair, to be fair, Colin gave him racing room there, which was good of him. So yeah, but that Nissan's going to be fierce in a straight line, right? So let's just see how it looks braking into final 2 corners. Oh, he's not. He's gone up. He's sent it back up. Oh, but he's not held it on the inside. Luckily, he's able to not push wide there and give Colin a little kiss. It's good he did give him a little kiss. Can Colin hold the Mac in a straight line? It just doesn't seem to quite have the straight line speed of the brutes, so like the Nissan and the Audi. So again, that Nissan is really fierce on a straight. Colin had a good 5 or 6 car length gap at the start of that straight. And now, oh, yeah, no, Colin stays ahead. So I think that'll be it now. Hopefully in the tight corners, he can stretch it out a little bit. I say hopefully, you just don't want to see a coming together really. So Brown there in the Nissan. Yeah, it's great fun, the Nissan. It's a great car to drive, but it's not so good through the twisty stuff, is it? It doesn't handle quite so well as a lot of the other cars. Jordan McNair's had a bit of an incident. I think he's just had an off. Let's have a look. Oh, he just come around and the back end's jumped out on him in the last 2 corners. Come on, cameraman. These cameramen are overpaid. Going to have a complaint. So he's taken the opportunity to pit there, which I think is a wise choice. Cook's just done the fastest lap of the race, folks. Oh, I've got to get back to this, sorry. They are very close again. Cook's done the fastest lap. He's done a 1:41.882, which is over half a second faster than I can go in quali, just to give some perspective. So they are fast, aren't they? They're proper fast boys, these lads. Yeah, so him, Dan Moffat. If Rich, you know, he's got 40 minutes. If Cook can really make the most of this first stint and come in for tyres only a couple of seconds behind, who knows? It's all to play for. Chris has come in. He's chosen to come in. I said that might be the wise choice, so he's released Craig Holmes, but could make the undercut work here. If he, yeah, we'll see how this works out for him. But yeah, he's into the pit. That promotes Paul Sims at the moment into P4, but he's a good chunk behind Craig now. Craig and Chris were running good times. They were in the sort of 142s and mid to low 142s. Paul is running high 142s to 143s, so the Audi just not quite going alive here. Maybe he'll get that damage fixed on his pit stop, who knows. Maybe that'll give him that extra half a second a lap, and I know he's got in him at least. So we'll see how that goes. But while we got the opportunity, let's have a look at leader of the Pro-Ams at the moment. That's Thomas Lenatas. Don't know what MW is on this side. I know what jailbait is though. Rest in pits. Nice livery. I'm not sure the L plates that, unless he's not referring to driving. Maybe he's referring to shaving because he's only about 12. Could be that, couldn't it? Or doing his own tie. Maybe he's learned to do his own tie. Laura, can you testify? Has he learned to shave or do his own tie yet? Oh, it was Craig, second time. Oldhouse the first time. Oh, I get you, Rios. I get the feeling you're not in the race anymore then, Adam, if you're in here chatting. you've decided to quietly retire. Oh, that is just run wide. Is that Wheaton? It's just run wide. They're letting the guys through. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, we got Lenatis leader in Pro-Am. Yeah, it's a shame. Pro-Am, Colin McNair is P2 in Pro-Am and only 2.1 behind Thomas. Then Ed Brown is P3 Pro-Am, Homer and Aid. So it's places 6th to 10th are all Pro-Am. So they're punching above their weight. They're putting the pros to shame. I say that pit stops are making a difference here now, aren't they? So we're not really going to see true positions again now. Probably until about 15 minutes time when we could be confident most people have done their stop. So there's a lot of change on the board, but none of it is in actuality reflective of race positions being gained. It's just pit raced. Ed Brown's just had an off though. Don't know if he just ran wide. Oh, it looks like he was battling. Who was he battling? He's gone wide. Oh, he's tried to come in. To be fair, he couldn't take that line. Oh, and it's lucky he didn't wipe out the Fezzer, the inside of him. He was on the outside. There was nowhere really for him to go. The Ferrari took a tight line, but Ed tried to take, I think, a more normal racing line there, and it just wasn't there for him to take. So, yeah, I mean, giving racing room and all that, maybe the stewards would see it differently, but just at first glance to me, it just looked like there wasn't enough room for two of them to take a standard line through that corner. So, yeah. Looking at Starkey, so he's P15. So after his incident, yeah, with Rios early in the race, still P15. He's not too far off the podium positions for Pro-Am category, and the gaps aren't that big. So between him and then he's got Ed Brown in front of him. Obviously, you can see how close that gap is. And Craig, I think, has got the pace in that Fiat to. Again, I don't know if it'll be on the straight. Ed's made his mind up for him there. So we're absolutely fine on that front. Starkey gains another place on track, at least for now, and maybe gives him a little bit of room to breathe and put in some fast laps. His last lap, folks, was a 1:42.15. That is just a few tenths off the fastest pro driver in this race so far. So Kirk did a 41.8. Craig has done in his last lap and his best lap a 42.1. He is absolutely flying in that Ferrari. He's putting in some seriously fast laps. So let's have a bit of a bonnet cam view for a second whilst not a great deal else on track's happening. Just have a listen to the Ferrari and I'll shut up and actually drink some water. Laura's still got no Pringles. I mean, the best I'm going to get at this rate, which is not even second rate, it's probably fifth rate, is a packet of the kids' Quavers. I mean, not even real crisps, are they? I mean, if anyone in chat feels that Quavers are a satisfying snack, feel free to mention it. But personally, I'd say no, they're not really up there. Yeah, so Starkey really pulling back through the field here. He's doing a great job, absolutely flying, like I said. Best lap of the race, last lap, and at the moment I can't see his relative. Let me just see where he is compared to his best. It won't tell me. Brilliant. Again, well, we'll see it in a second, won't we? We'll see what his lap is. Battle up ahead though, isn't there? I should get to that. Oh, hello. Gary Barham and Merch there having a proper ding-dong. Maybe we'll see this from Helicam. Gary is not... He's left it in there? Yeah. Merch not willing to give it up though. Oh, Gary, the back end of Gary's car getting a bit squirrely there on getting the power down. Andy Aldhouse smelling an opportunity just behind them there. And all of this giving Craig a chance to catch up on those three positions. Here he is. Enter stage left. Craig Starkey gobbling up the gap between the three of those guys and getting himself back into pretty much the top 10. He'd be right on the sniffing at the top 10 if he can get past that, and certainly if he can get past these guys, he's another position up in class as well. I think he's going to get the new sandbagger title if he keeps putting in those laps. Although his last was a 1:43, okay, I'll let him off. I think he did it because he knew we were watching him. But yeah, these four now actually really close, aren't they? There's nothing between them now. Craig's got right up on the back of these four. If Gary and Murch continue to battle, Murch is a hard guy to pass. He's a reasonable guy to catch. He's a hard guy to pass. And yeah, I imagine Gary's sitting there gritting his teeth, working out how he's going to do this, because Murch isn't going to give him the place. I think it's Murchy. Oh, Murch. He's got on the power badly there, didn't he? Didn't look too good to me. It looked like he didn't quite get on the power as well as Gary, but they're both in the Ferrari. Both can have similar performance down the straight. And Gary doesn't look like he's gaining on this lap. But again, hopefully he can see opportunities elsewhere on the track, certainly on the mid-speed to low-speed corners where I think Murch isn't quite as strong as Gary might well be. I know Gary can be really fast. And again, Gary lights up the back end as he goes through T2. He's just trying a little bit too hard at the moment, and probably getting a little bit of wash off the back of Murch's Ferrari as well. Again, giving Andy a chance to. He's hanging on the coattails, really, isn't he, of those guys? What is Craig? He's 1.6 back, so he's not had a stellar last couple of laps, Craig. So a little bit patchy after that absolute flyer. 142.1, not quite so good on the last couple of laps, but he's certainly got the pace in him. Even if he did pit early, so he's got a bit more work to do keeping those tyres alive. As predicted, where are we looking on position now? So we have not pitted at the top. So the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the top 8 I think haven't yet pitted. I could be wrong. So I was just looking at Craig there. Obviously, when they're on track on the same stop, there we go. We've got a lot of people not pitted, haven't we? Because if I look at, there we go, top 16 is still to pit. So heck of a lot of people not pitted yet. It's all still to play for. Chris Bourne, I'm just trying to think. I'll get back there in a second. Let's stick with this battle for now. Chris Bourne's P17 at the moment. He's doing mid 42, so he's doing pretty good pace. He has got a 4-second gap in front of him, so again he's got a fairly clear track to play with until he catches up with Mark Christopher in the Pro-Am category. And Rich Gasson as well after that start where he ran long into T1. I don't know if it was just that or if he had other incidents as well, but he's running P18, so I think he took the opportunity of the early stop as well. And he's running, let's work this out now, is he 2.8 behind? Can't quite see it. Or is it a big gap? I'm losing my gaps here. It's only a gap to him is 3 seconds. Yeah, let's just get back to this. Sorry. Starkey catching up on the back of Aldhouse now. So Craig currently is sitting PA because we had a load of people pit, haven't we? I'll try and keep an eye on that because it's only on the actual in-game screen I can see who has or hasn't done their stops. It's not showing on my my race monitoring software. Oh, Monster Munch, Peter. That's proper. That's a good shout. And it's a strange thing. I think it's something about allow me to indulge myself on this whilst we're watching a high-speed battle for glory. I'd like to talk about snack foods. So when you're younger, your parents buy you Monster Munch, right? And they give you, because that's all there was when we were kids, right? They give you the original like beef flavour Monster Munch, and you're like, well, okay, it's a nice chunky snack, but it's a really weird flavour to get used to when you're a little kid. But you get used to it; it's fine. And then, in your formative years, you discover pickled onion Monster Munch, and only more recently, by standards of our age, do you discover, ooh, who's that? There's that Aldhouse there. He just spun it up coming out of turn 2 and he couldn't get it back for turn 3. So yeah, he's dropped. He's still running P3 courtesy of a load of pit stops. Oh, and we have got, let me see. Holmes in the pit. So let's just see where he comes out. And crucially, which I think will be the case, if Bourne gets ahead of him. That was the one we were looking at, isn't it? And out he comes, and there goes Chris Bourne. So Chris Bourne did take that place. The undercut worked. Chris Bourne probably gained himself, what, a good second and a half, 2 seconds there. So as you can see, that's a good example of can pit early. Now, of course, Holmes has got fresh tyres. It's every chance he could catch back up with Chris Bourne, but I think Chris has got the pace here, even on slightly worn tyres, to keep that together. Thomas has had a moment. Let's see his moment. He's running P1 in race, courtesy of everybody pitting. I just need to see some times as well. Apologies, the on-screen graphic has disappeared from the face of the earth. Oh, there we go. So he had a bit of a spin there, but he recovers. Crucially, no damage to the car there as well. So that is good. Something has gone wrong with my connectivity. Give me a second here. And reconnect. Now I've got my timing ball back. That's better. Okay, so yeah, Lenatis is still... Oh no, come on. Having some issues here, folks, with the control software at the moment. Doesn't quite seem to be properly connected. Let me try one more time. That's better. I have control once more. So what are we looking at on track now? Everything's going to come out in the wash eventually. We've still got 5 people that have not pitted. So the Lenatis battle isn't actually that representative of what's happening on track. Dan Moffat has he got a... no, he hasn't. He's got a 5-second lead over Richard Cook. Richard Cook's in 4th, has pitted. Chris Bourne is in 5th. So Chris Bourne has done a sterling job of raking himself back up through the field. On track in a few minutes, that's probably going to end up being podium. That's probably going to end up being 3rd place. So at the moment, it's a Macca 1, 2, 3. Ballast, incoming ballast. No, it's a Macca 1, 2, 3. There's a lot of Fiats on track, but they are not in the top 3. Holmes is there in reality P4 at the moment, because we've got to ignore Lenatis and Homer. I don't ignore them. I mean, they're having a good battle. Thomas has just pitted, so he's coming in for his mandatory stop, fuel and tyres if he wants them. He's driving the Nissan, probably needs to change the tyres. I don't think you can just change the rears, but they're the ones that are going to be down to the rims in the Nissan, aren't they? So Homer, for this moment of glory, let's focus on Mr. Homer here, who is leading the race in the Porsche. The glory, the moment of glory, leading the race. But let's face it, in reality, it's Dan Moffat leading the race. Rich Cook still with the fastest lap, Chris Bourne 3rd. Talking about leaders in class, Colin McNair is right up there as well, because he has done his stop. He is the leader in class who has done a stop in the Pro-Am category. Gary Barham, P2 in category. Simon Aid, back from his mandatory foot-related disastrous sabbatical. He is back now and potentially P3 in class. Depends where Thomas comes out, doesn't it? Shall we have a look? Let's see. So, obviously, the pros coming out just in front of him there. Here we go. We're all coming out now. And do you know what? He's pretty far up the field there, isn't he? Where's he going to drop back to? It's P11, but he's still 1st in class. Congratulations. So just in front of Colin McNair. So that is fantastic work there, Thomas. Pitted just in time. I think even with that spin, to come out in P1 in class, congratulations. That's brilliant work. So yeah, against my prediction, Thomas stays in front. And let's see if he can make that stick. Colin pitted a few laps ago now, so let's see if he feels he's got the race in him to, especially with Thomas on cold tyres, if he can actually catch him and take him. I won't go back to front of Pro because the gaps are fairly consistent and quite large, so I'll keep it here where the majority of the action is at the moment. Again, that Mac is so fast through the fast corners, isn't it? It's got the aero and it's a bit lighter. Well, anything's a bit lighter. Our electric car is a bit lighter than the Nissan. Oh, Colin looking really, really racy here. And it's not like Colin, like, he's up for the battle, I'm sure. And he really doesn't also want to back himself into Gary Barham either. Waite and Askham seem to have had a coming together. I'm not quite sure. Let's see what happened here. Oh, he's just pushed straight through him there. So yeah, he's going to wait. He's going to wait for him, but he's Askham there has got to get his car back round, doesn't he, to get past him. But he is back ahead of him on track, so he let him have the place back. Fair play. And again, with these longer races, maybe that doesn't destroy your race as much as it would have done with a 40-minute sprint. So we'll just see on that front. Why did I jump back to Sims? There was a reason. There we go. Homer in the pits, and yeah, as predicted, Homer is dropping back through class. He's coming out now, but he was leading the race for a little bit, but he was a chunk back on the other guys. Leader in class, Thomas Lenatis there, putting up a great fight in the Datsun, the jailbait Datsun. I mean, not to get away from the race. Oh, I wouldn't know. I'm not going to focus on the livery just now. Mumbles. It is Mumbles, isn't it? Does he put Mumbles on the car? Or am I reading? No, it isn't that, is it? Maybe it is. Laura, has he got Mumbles written on his car? So anyway, yeah, the important thing to talk about whilst we're watching this fantastic race is you fall out of love with beef Monster Muncher when you're a kid, don't you? It's one of those things, and you go, but pickled onions like so much more of a hit, and it's fantastic flavour. And then you discover Flaming Hot, and for a while you fall into the trap of Flaming Hot Monster Munch being the tastiest Monster Munch, but then you realise they're not. They've just got a bit of a kick that makes you think they're tasty, but they're like a badly made curry that's just all pepper and heat and no actual flavour. So then you go back, you know, and I'm talking about decades here. I'm talking, you know, when you're maybe 35, you realise pickled onion Monster Munch is still probably your favourite. You buy those, and everyone likes those, and the kids like them, and your friends like them, and everything. And then you turn up at, you know, at a party or a gathering, or someone's brought in a Mumbles Ward. Nice one. You turn up at a party, or your mate comes round, and he's brought a mega bag, you know, the big bags, but he's brought the original beef flavour, and everyone turns their nose up. They're like, oh, this guy, you invited this guy, you know, it's just embarrassing. Nobody's going to eat the beef ones. And you ignore them most of the night, but then the good ones are gone, the other crisps, you know, and you're down to the quavers. Nobody eats the quavers because they're quavers. They're actually, you burn more calories eating them than you get from them. It's like cabbage soup. So nobody eats the quavers, and then you're just left with the beef Monster Munch. So you have one. And then you realise that you've sort of it's gone full circle. It's the circle of Monster Munch life. That you realise that you have once again fallen in love with the original flavour of Monster Munch. And it's the strongest flavour, and it's the nicest, and it's the richest flavour. Pickled onion's great, you know, you get a real buzz from it, and it's lovely. And Flaming Hot's nice for a bit of a kick. But beef Monster Munch, they're epic, aren't they? They're the best. Anyway, I don't know if anyone agrees with it, but you know, I thought that was an important subject to cover. And with these longer races, I'm afraid that's what you're gonna get. You thought the Pringles discussion was long. That was nothing. There's a battle. Simon Aid and Gary Barham are going at it hammer and tongs here. And Aid has used the superior straight line power of Le Amaga to get past Le Fiat. And let's see if Gary still feels he's got power in the Fiat to challenge back. But that is for position in Pro-Am, and worse still for Gary, that's for podium position in Pro-Am. We have had an incident here. We've had Condren and Howells. Mark, is it Mark? I'm so apologies for the name. He's really struggling because he's under pressure as well. Trying to get, and he clipped that he just didn't see. I didn't quite see how that happened, but basically came across him too early. He hadn't cleared the car. And just complete wipeout there for, where is he now on track? It was a complete wipeout, wasn't it? Where is he? Howells is in the pit. It's going to have a load of damage from that. Poor Steve. That's a rubbish outcome for you there, Steve. But the livery on the positive looks really nice. Chips versus crisps. Yeah, Roger, we could get onto that. Anyway, bad luck for Steve. I say bad luck. It was a poor judgment led to that. So I think that's what we're going to be seeing the stewards dealing with. So we get through that, and I'm just focused on that because he's jumped ahead in the race. Let's talk about the guys at the front, because they're gapping each other pretty well here. You'll just see maybe Cookie come into view behind, but not really, because the gap there to Cook is 5.9 seconds. Cookie's going fast though, but Moffat's best is they're almost identical. They're 200ths apart in their best lap, so it's probably down to the start that Dan had, and also just consistency in his laps, and we know with Dan as well. So he gets in position on track. He's very, very consistent driver. Chris Bourne is absolutely stoking along as well. He's a few tenths slower than those boys, but not much. He's doing 142s, mid 142s in race trim, which is impressive. As is Craig Holmes in the Audi. I said he's pitted later. His tyres could come alive. He's dropped to 4.2 back, but he's still going. He's going a couple of tenths faster than Chris. Certainly on his best, maybe not on his last. But as I said, I think Chris Bourne, even on slightly worn tyres, has probably got Craig's number. He's just that bit quicker, especially through the fast corners. That backer looks nailed on, and under braking. So yeah, it is a solid car here, isn't it? Then if we look on track, got Rich Gasson in P5 in class, and actually the top 9 are all in class. They're all pro category, as you can see on your screen. But he's got Saunders right up his chuff as well, 0.5 behind in the identical car. Saunders clearly very fast. Fastest lap of the race, 142.1, or nearer 142.2 rounded up. So that's super fast, right? That's a good speed he's going. And Gasson's best of the race, 141.9, but crucially, his last lap was a 143.5. That is not the pace he wants to run. He's just put in a 142.6, albeit invalid. And so has Saunders. So Saunders has definitely got Gasson's pace, but Gasson's taken a lot of curb there, and the Ferrari really didn't like it, so he could have a run on him here, couldn't he? See, you'd be a brave man to chuck it. No, he's not got the run on him there. Let's just see, but if it's not like Rich to make... oh no, Saunders has gone off. Saunders has gone absolutely flying. Exit stage left. Let's have a look. I think he just literally... I think he held the brake too long, didn't he? Yeah, he went in tight. Hit the curb, yeah. And he must have just lost the back end because he was maybe just dragging the brake a little. Yeah, Steve. Bad luck, man. I was saying in the chat, the livery looks amazing even when you're in the pits, but it's sad to see you there. That was... I'm really bad at the moment at like uber short-term memory. I watched the incident back. I saw it happen. I think he came right across the front of your car, didn't he? Which took you out, and he got to carry on, which is the way things go. Yeah, Steve's just trying to get back into Group 2 by wrecking his own race, I reckon. No, it was a miserable incident. It was bad judgment, and it obviously you're on the receiving end of that. So yeah, sorry, Steve, I probably got it wrong because literally my short-term memory at the moment, I'm getting my cars mixed up. Honestly, I need to get back to doing some work and using my brain again. Let's just have a look on track then. So yeah, that battle's all but over. We just go back to P8 and 9, which is still in the pro category. I'll let Steve explain in chat what happened if he wants to, or we'll just leave it there. But yeah, it's that was a stinker for you, I think. Serrano in 9th in the Beamer is doing 42.8, so is Dave Marsh just behind him. So I think as much as it's close, I don't know if one is particularly quicker than the other there at the moment. But let's just have a look at leader in class. Thomas is still, he hasn't stretched out that lead over Colin, but equally Colin isn't right up behind him, absolutely challenging at the moment. Maybe he's eased off a bit, or maybe this is just where we're at now because Thomas pitted that much later. He's got the fresher tyres, so it's just equalised the race a little bit for him. The Nissan's going to roast the tyres, I think, from what I've heard, a bit more than the Macca, but I could be wrong. That might have changed. That might be old news. But yeah, and then behind them, so this is for the top 3. These are the top 3 we're looking at now in the Pro-Am category. We've got Lenatis, McNair and Aid back from the foot-related sabbatical. back into P3 in class. A glorious return to the track for him in a car that I'm not sure is awesome around Imola, but that's an off track for Colin there. Let's hope. And what we might see, folks, which we haven't seen a lot of in the sprint races, got a 1 hour race. There's every chance we might see 1 or 2 drive-throughs here as well. So we'll keep an eye out for those. I bet there's a few people on 2, maybe 3 warnings already in this race. Steve feeling a bit under the pro category then. So yeah, I was saying it, for me it's sort of, if you look at the people that are in pro now, and it depends how often you race as well, and I might be over complimenting your racecraft and your race pace, but for me you're similar to where I am, except you've got better racecraft than me. So people talk about putting you in pro and you go, no thanks, I'm still pro-am based on how I race. But yeah, who knows, but we can always, depending on pace and how we feel about stuff, we can always move stuff around. But yeah, I think it was an unfortunate incident though, regardless of category. I think it was an unfortunate incident for you. Yeah, so it was him on the back of your car that spun you. Yeah, I'm getting it mixed up as to what I saw on track. But yeah, definitely he's looking at it. It's really unfortunate because I think it was a good battle, and there was no way that coming together should have happened. So it's just unfortunate. It's the sort of thing I do in VR because I'm not able to see my corners as well as maybe I should be. So yeah, what we're looking at. So Simon Aid, Collins, again, that gap hasn't really changed. So Simon Aid is closing up on him a little bit. Let's just go back down the field a little bit. We've got Murchie here. He's in pro category, but he's in a bit of no man's land because the guys in front and behind him are in the pro-ams. So he's got nothing to fight for. He could overtake 4 cars and still score exactly the same amount of points. Marsh and Serrano have just had a change of position. Let's see, I think it was before then, apologies. Missed it, but Marsh got through probably 10 seconds before that. Looks like a pretty clean overtake. I wondered if he would. It looked like he had similar, if not slightly better pace. Yeah, so Panoff here in 14th. It's got Homer coming up behind him, but yeah, slightly no man's land. Not a lot to, yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting, Steve. It's a tough challenge, isn't it, being a pro category? But to be fair, pro or pro-am category in this group, if you qualify well, you're in the same race, aren't you? You've got just some really fast people. The top 16 or something qualified with, or top 12 qualified within 1 second of pole. It was that close. Yeah, and you are super quick, Steve. Absolutely. And your race pace and racecraft are definitely, I think, put you. I think, you know, it's flip-flop between the two, but I'd say you could easily do a good job in pro category if you have a bit more luck. So yeah, see how you go. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, yeah, Murchie here is in the pro category. But yeah, stuck in there battling and really nothing else to fight for here. He just wants to stay out of trouble and not let Lee Smart, who's nearly 9 seconds behind him, catch him up. So yeah, I mean, he could, here we go again on the strategy front, he could let Homer behind him past and then have nobody to challenge him on track at all, nobody to risk his position in race. But I doubt he wants to do that. I imagine he still wants to have a good race, as we all do. Okay, whilst close on track, Gasson has still got the better of Saunders. Looks like he's stabilised his laps and he's getting solid 143s. Saunders 143s now, so I think everybody's munching through tyres a bit more now than they were just after their pit stop. Pace has come down a fraction, even the leaders now, and let's give them a bit of airtime because we've really not shown much of them. So we've got Dan Moffat in the lead, as he has been since T3 of this race, after Gasson ran off track at T1, T2, and was very cautious in how he re-entered the track, which is good of him to do that. Yeah. All right, Steve. CU chaps, what, in Group 2? No, you're not Group 2. You're certainly up in Pro-Am Group 1, at least, if not the Pro. But we last season We switched people between Pro and Pro-Am where we felt the need after 2 or 3 races when things stabilised a bit. That way it doesn't mess up any points, and it just puts you in the place you should be in that category. Much easier than shifting people between groups. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Yeah, fair enough. Craig and Rios beating you, but Craig's head of Pro-Am at the moment. I rebranded Craig Sandbagger Mark II at the start of this stream, actually, when he put in that quali and his best race lap, which is, you won't thank me for saying it, his best race lap was a 1:42.1. So yeah, I see your point, and I think it's a hard act to get right. I think Colin's done a great job of putting people pretty close to where they need to be in class, and you have outlier tracks for outlier drivers as well, don't you? Some guys are really fast on some tracks too. So yeah, but Craig's pace, again, like yours, if I'm being honest, he's borderline pro-am, so it's somewhere between the two. I guess it just depends how often you race and how consistent you feel you can be with that race pace. But it's all debatable, and it's not, there's no $1 million prize at the end of this. It's all changeable if you feel the need to change it. So yeah, we'll certainly keep an eye on it. Craig beats me every week, annoyingly. I nearly beat him at Barcelona a while back and then didn't, which was annoying. But he's super consistent, isn't he? Right, so what we're looking at. So we got Dan Moffat leading Richard Cook by 4.4 seconds. We've got a big old gap to Chris Bourne. He's not closed that gap up. He's kept it pretty consistent, and I think he knows now he's podium. He's third on the podium. So fantastic. That's looking like our podium if things stay as they are with 7 minutes to go. Craig Holmes is doing pretty well. He's staying within 4 seconds of Chris Bourne, which is what he was pretty much at 1 lap after he came out of the pits. So they're very similar pace. They're running low 142s, high 141s. Saunders is fast. 142.1 is his best. 142.8, although it's invalid on his last, but he's running fast pace. He was giving Gasson a good run for his money. Rich Gasson is still 2 seconds ahead of him there, as you can see. Let's move our way down. Paul Sims is a bit lonely down there in P7. Marsh behind him in P8 by 2 seconds. Then Serrano P9. Thomas leading class still, and it's very close, and maybe we stick with this battle. Because Colin looks like he's going for one final push on the last few laps. Let's see what he can make of this. You can tell it's a long stream. I'm nearly out of water. It's a big bottle of water. Always run very wide there. I think he's too busy looking at his mirrors, not looking ahead. Gives Colin another opportunity and a bit more traction. Oh, Colin had to run wide there to not go at the back of him. So that was very kind of Colin to not go at the back of him there. But that's giving the place away, which he's going to be absolutely seething about too. Lurker Aid does his rise back to glory no end. He's clearly not been injured at all. He's just been practicing furiously every day in the AMG for 6 months solid. That's clearly what's been happening. Look at this pace. 142.6 is his best lap, which is a fair pace at the top end of Pro-Am. The fastest pace in Pro-Am 142.1. So yeah, only half a second off that, which was a bit of an outlier one-off lap for Craig Starkey, to be fair. So Thomas again, 142.6, Simon A 142.6, Colin 142.8 is his bet. So the three of them are really competitive here, and I know Colin likes IMOLA. Let's see if he can make any time back on that, but that's really unfortunate there. He just got too close in the wrong place of the track, didn't he? I mean, he clearly had the handling into the tighter corners over the Nissan, which we know for that car is the case. So just got a bit too close and had to back out of the turn just to not clip Thomas there, which would have been a really unfortunate end to a really good drive for both of them. So yeah, coming in third rather than first in class, that's going to sting a bit, but I'm sure he'd rather that than have wiped out the class winner. Which again, let's just have a little mention of. We've had an overtake here, I think. We've had Condren take it's come back. Oh, nasty. Oh, it's so unfortunate. So 3-2-1 there. Condren lost the back end of the car and he clatters into somebody else come around the corner. I won't go back again. Didn't see the number on that, but really unfortunate for the car coming round. He wouldn't have seen that coming at all. So that's a stinker. I think it was it weight? I could be wrong. Could be weight. And yeah, now he's off track. So I think it might have been weight. Dan Moffat. Obviously trying to prove a bit of a point here. He's just put in his best lap of the race. 1:41.7 to steal purple off Mr. Cook, who I know will be seething that he's stolen purple off him, which will be that extra point in the championship. So Dan Moffat putting in, showing he's got pace where he needs it. Richard Cook keeping him honest, albeit a 4-second gap. But those two absolutely flying. Sims there and Marsh are a lot closer on track. Looks to me, just looking at his lap time, he's P7 and Marsh P8. 42.4 was his best, but he did a 42.9 last lap, and Marsh had a flyer 42.6. So Marsh looking like he's really pushing just to get that extra place on the last couple of laps. And let's just see how that plays out for him. It is close on track. Hold on, guys, hold on. Simon Aid has caught Thomas Lenatis. Thomas must really be struggling with that Nissan. Yeah, it's looking really like it doesn't want to rotate through those mid-speed corners, does it? And Simon Aid really fancying his chances of an absolute phoenix from the flames in this season return for him to come in potentially P1 in class after being in no man's land for months on end, practicing 14 hours a day in ACC just at Imola, just for this one moment of glory. The original, the best sandbagger on track, Simon Aid. You said that, Roger, not me. Oh, again, he's just really hot under brakes there. He's looking really racy. Got a great run there, bottom of the hill. Surely that's got to be it. And he's gonna, I think he's going to get a car's length on him before the corner, isn't it? Oh no, he's dropped back again. The Datsun in a straight line is just awesome, and then round the corners looks like an absolute pig. It's like our electric Hyundai. Let's just see what Simon can do here. What's going to be 2 laps, isn't it? It's going to be 2 more laps in this race. Like I said, Dan Moffat with purple 1:41.7. Mark Christopher's just dropped back. I will come back to this, but let's just see what happened here. Oh, it looks like he had an off. He's just making it back onto track. Hopefully nobody gets too badly impeded. No, we're all good. Okay, so yeah, getting back to the action. Sorry guys. Oh, that was close as well, wasn't it? Leaders on a final lap. So yes, Sims holding off Marsh. But I'm going to jump back from there because I think it's the battle for Pro-Am. Pro-Am's provided the hot entertainment tonight. Looks like Dan Moffat's backed off a bit on the last lap or so. Did a 1:42.2, which means Cook's within 2 seconds, but I think he's just controlling the race. He's got a good gap on the last lap. Let's just see if that Nissan can hold on for this one final lap of the track. Simon is absolutely oh, nearly a little kiss there. Absolutely handing him into the corners. Thomas is really just absolutely parking it now. He's having to park it. It's just that car is not got. Let's just see how much he closes up here too. In a straight line, it's fierce, isn't it? Just watch it go. So we got 3-4 car lengths there. Colin smelling blood as well, I think. Just looking at this. And under braking, that AMG right up with him again. But look, you think he's got a run here. And then the Nissan just stretches its legs once it gets to the mid-speed. So just very, very hard for him to pass if he thinks he can pass at all. Oh, I'm going to miss. I think, apologies, I've missed Dan crossing the line in first, but congratulations to Dan Moffat, winner of the race. We're going to stick with this. Rich Cook, P2, 2 seconds behind. Chris Bourne in 3rd place. So that rounds off the podium in the pros and in the race. Oh, he's run wide there, Simon. So I think that's it. The chance is gone. And on the straight, I think the Datsun's just got it. So he's going to take a win in class. And I'm sure being Thomas will be incredibly modest and he won't be mentioning it in chat for another 3 or 4 hours, posting videos of his glory. But, you know, congratulations, Thomas. That's a fantastic drive. I thought you pitted too late. I thought you were going to struggle, but you'd driven well enough on your first stint to make it work. And well done to Simon Aid, P2 in class, and Colin McNair, P3 in class. Looking down the field beyond that, not a lot more going on track now. We got a couple more just coming home. Starkey ended up P17, so really didn't recover the way I thought he might have recovered. Maybe had a couple more incidents. But yeah, really unfortunate that coming together with Adam Rios near the start of the race. Again, just misread the situation, I think. Rios, look at it, I don't know, it was, what is it, a blue flag situation, but I don't think he has to run wide in the corner to let Starkey through in that situation. So I've only just missed it, haven't I? Moffat's just come across the line. Are we still racing? Have I completely screwed up? I think I might have done. Are we still racing for class? We're not, are we? That's got to be it. No, we are. Sorry, guys. I've completely screwed up. The race is still on. I thought that was the race over, honestly. So, yeah, Dan Moffat wins. Cook not far behind, a couple of seconds behind. Chris Bourne in third. That hasn't changed, but we've got a whole half a lap I missed of this battle, where Simon Aid again was putting the Knights under pressure. So a bit preemptive on a congratulations. But I think the outcome's going to be the same. And I think Thomas is going to bring it home for P1 in class. Look at that, P1, 2 and 3 within a second of each other. Colin giving a little flash there, I think showed his appreciation of a damn good race. Bad luck, Colin. I think, yeah, had you gone for the Macca move on the Nissan in a different corner, could have been yours. And I think Thomas knew it as well. He probably felt the heat. And Simon in the right place at the right time to take advantage, which was a fantastic result for him as well. Looking down the field then, just looking in class, Barham, it's all changing now because everyone's come across the line. But P4 in class are just off the podium, but a fair chunk behind those top three in class as well. And yeah, just to round off. So first, second and third in Pro, Moffat, Cook, Bourne. Congratulations, guys. Well driven, some amazing pace there at the front. And Chris Bourne as well, I think, did, yeah, the top two, Moffat and Cook, doing 141.8s and 41.7s. Just shows you the pace they've got. Really bad luck. Again, commiserations to the ones I saw, which were that situation for Craig Starkey was miserable. Colin with just having to run wide there towards the end of the race, and of course Steve Howells was going well, and then just had that coming together. So premature, yeah, Roger. I mean, it's, you know, what can I say? It's an age thing. It either happens or it too quickly or not at all, doesn't it? I think that's talking of race commentary, of course. Nothing else sinister or at all dirty or smutty, because we don't appreciate that kind of talk in this group. Oh, where are we then? So that'll do. Done. That was long. That's a long stream. I don't know if I can do that every week, honestly, guys. I certainly can't do it Monday and Tuesday night, but it was good. I wanted to do it, see how we got through it, see how I felt about streaming on a regular basis. It was a good race to watch, to be honest. I didn't feel there was a good 5 minutes for me to step out and get a cup of tea and nick the kids' crisps. I wonder if they went and got Monster Munch and I'm just not even aware of it. That would have been desperately sad, wouldn't it? Would have really missed out there. Anyway, thanks for coming and watching. To those that are watching back later in Group 1, congrats on a great race. Some really good clean drivings, a couple of unfortunate incidents, but as usual, the manners in this group are impeccable. People giving back places, you know, very commendable driving. Proud to be part of the group and proud to commentate on you guys. So thanks for watching. Commiserations to those in Group 1 that weren't so lucky, and of course Rios as well. I know I missed your incident, but you had a stinker as well there, didn't you? So a few guys there that I missed some incidents of, but try and keep up with as much as I can. And yeah, good luck to Group 2 tomorrow night. I'll see if I stream it or not. I'm not sure. We'll see how we go. But if I can, I will. Else, there'll be plenty of other guys, I hope, that'll be streaming it, and they'll put their links in, stream links in Discord. Wednesday night's multi-class, drive what you like. Most people drive GT3s, but you can have a laugh and turn up in a Ferrari Challenge if you want. Haven't chosen the track yet. Anyone with any firm suggestions? Basically, I try and choose a track that others aren't putting on for the longer races in the week. And the way our format of races goes now, we've got a lot of 1 hour races in the week. We've got the Championship and we've got the Saturdays, and the so those are longer races. So really, Wednesday and Thursday night, your only real opportunities for standard length sprint races. So get online, get racing on Wednesdays and Thursdays. We'll try and pick tracks or mix them up every week. I said it's mixed class, but there's a fair few people turn up GT3s, usually 15 to 20 on track. So Wednesdays are good, Thursdays are good again for the casuals, just turn up. Wednesdays, run what you brung. Thursdays, GT3 only. And Friday is touring bumper cars, as usual. So yeah, cheers everybody, and have a good evening. I'm pressing buttons now, so I will see you next